has found a treasure. We find this in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiastes 9:10. Insomuch as one pushes you near to God, he or she is your friend. An anonymous quotation. Friendship is a gift of the gods, wrote Benjamin Disraeli, the most precious boon to man. And John Dryden has said, friendship of itself is a holy tie. It's made more sacred by adversity. And George Herbert, it is good to have some friends both in heaven and on hell. Henry Home has written, the difficulty is not so great to die for a friend as to find a friend worth dying for. By friendship, you mean the greatest love, the greatest usefulness, the most open communication, the noblest sufferings, the severest truth, the heartiest counsel, the greatest union of minds of which brave men and women are capable. Jeremy Taylor. Blessed are those who have the gift of making friends, for it is one of the God's best gifts. It involves many things, but above all, the power of going out to oneself and appreciating what is noble and loving in another. So wrote Thomas Hughes. And this anonymous quotation, the Christian should never complain of his hard fortune while he knows that Christ is his friend. Another anonymous quotation, friendship is love without his wings. I desire, said Abraham Lincoln, to conduct the affairs of my administration so that if at the end when I come or lay down the reins of power I have lost every other friend on earth, I shall at least have one friend left, and that friend shall be deep down inside of me. Edward Edgar DeWitt Jones has written, a friend is the one who comes in when the whole world has gone out, even as David thanked God for Jonathan and praised him in well-remembered lines. So have we abundant reasons to thank God today for friends resolved to keep our friendships in constant repair. On their choice of friends, our good or evil name depends, wrote John Gay. And Henry Vaughan, to God, thy country and thy friend be true. And finally, for today on friends and friendship, from the New Testament, Matthew 11:19, Jesus, friend of publicans and sinners.
You've been listening to Investing in Being Human with Dr. Collins.
Generally speaking, a lot of times every year when kids graduate from school, thousands of them coming out trying to find jobs, and we all know that the job market can manage so many more, take in so many more. So that is the case on a good day, during usual times. So it's even more exasperated now that we are in the midst of the aftermath of COVID-19. People, all I can tell you is this. One of the things that Warren Buffett said is, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will have to work for the rest of your life, or you will work until the day you die. That's how he put it. So you have to find a way to create a residual income that doesn't just depend on you earning money in exchange for your time. Because if something would have happened to you, or if something would have happened to the system like it has with the shutdown, then what do? So you have to find a way to create a residual income so that even in the midst of a recession, you can still survive because you have money coming in. And there are ways to do that. And if you want to know how, send me one message on the paradigm shift, and we'll talk about it on Facebook. Send me a private message there, and I'll be able to guide you in that. Okay, so let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to the paradigm shift.
Sir Malcolm, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bahamas. Sir Malcolm, I'm talking Bible today.
Okay.
Listen here. Since we said that we wear this mask, let's always keep in mind the King James Version of the Bible, 16:11. And guess what? I want to end with this. Anytime I think about this COVID-19, just what chapter I go to Joshua chapter 7. When this man, I can round it up quick. This man, he let them listen, take the gold. And Joshua had to deal with him. Michelle, you all have a blessed day.
All right. That was short and sweet. Let's go back to the phone lines. I'm sorry. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to the paradigm shift.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Michelle,
Yes.
how you doing today?
I am good. How are you?
Absolutely awesome. Now, I hear the Minister of Tourism, he's also the Minister of Aviation. He already been in hot water for aviation. Now, if he wished to get in some deeper boiling water, okay, when it comes to this tourism, all he have to do is keep talking as if the tourist economy, I already told them the Bahamas economy, these small businesses, is owned by the Bahamian people. Okay, they already know what they do, what they're supposed to do for the small businesses. And every business, they know what they said, and they know what they haven't done yet. Okay, and they haven't made it simple and easy for small businesses who are getting ready to go back into that business to be able to say, okay, we got a little $500 or a little $1,000 towards our getting our business back up and running. Listen to me. I don't have no time to play with what the Minister of Tourism needs to comprehend, okay, is the tourist industry now. That is what I likes to call the Bahamas industry. People, small business is their individual income earner, and they know what they did with that. Now, as relates to tourism, the Bahamas economy, this is the economy, what they chose to say they it's supposed to be our main industry. They know the number one industry will always be the day we do it, and will never change. Taxing every corporation, especially foreign corporations and very large Bahamian corporations. Don't waste my time, Diagla. I don't have time to waste with you, your government, or corruption. And if you don't do it, then you know why I don't waste time with y'all. Good day.
All right. How do you really feel now? Okay. Thank you so much for calling. I'm not going to comment it.
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, I know you got a live one, but what I need you to do, I need you to tell at least they listening. They need to have a rollback minutes. They need to roll back the minutes, man, because they rob me every month. They rob me out of maybe 200 minutes or on 500 gigs data, and they can't get it back. They sell it back over to me. They need to roll back these minutes back.
Oh, you mean like roll over?
Roll over. They need to roll over this. They need that because I think Metelco is doing it now. If you pay for your minutes, if you pay for something, that's supposed to be yours. How in the world they take that back to you and sell it back over to you? That's bad.
You make a good point. I'll have to ask him about that.
Because I've been with them from they first started, and right now I'm getting tired of it right now. And then you're watching your money now. One.
Right.
They need to do something with that. If I pay for my minutes, I should be able to keep that. That should be able to go over to the next. You know what I mean? And let me deal with my minutes because.
Yeah, you paid for it. I got you. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah.
See, the thing with it, man, when you go home, you have Wi-Fi home. When you go to work, you have Wi-Fi. So you aren't really burning up all the minutes, but you still, it's better to be on the postpaid plan because you'll pay more. If you on the prepaid, you pay more.
If you keep dishing out. Right, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
They need to give back. They need to hold back and give that, man, and instead of taking it back. Because they only selling me back my minutes back, or my minutes and data back over again.
I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna give him your feedback.
They get all the money.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give him your feedback. All right, that's a good question. Hey, Juan, if we have so many natural resources, how come most Bahamians working from paycheck to paycheck? No government has made it easy for us over the years. Good afternoon. Welcome to the revolution. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How's it going?
I'm fine, man. You're having another great and awesome show.
Thank you.
Yeah, and all of your texts and callers, they're brilliant people. The Bahamian people, I love y'all. Amos Jr. Miller, love y'all. You know, we don't see eye to eye on everything, but I love y'all, and I know y'all love me. Now, as it relates to us, okay, whether we love each other or not, as it relates to everyone living in this country who's a citizen and have rights to be alive, number one, and then rights to be alive in their country where they born, money is connected to everything as pertaining to that individual. And it's egregious. It's internationally global, and it's going to take off like a spirit. It'll never go back, and the lid will never be covered again. The people of this country do not need and should not be looking at no government and no member of parliament and no grouping of people at the conclusion of how they're going to end, whether they're going to have a family food in their homes, or have a home, or have a country. That is like the worst corruption the people is facing. And I need the government to hear Amos Jr. Miller clearly. I don't know y'all like y'all know me. Y'all know me much better than I know y'all. But the people know y'all just as good as y'all think y'all know Amos Jr. Miller. And so whatever y'all think y'all could do to me to harm tourism, and no, yes, harm it. Okay? If you open it, you're harming tourism. And if you're harming tourism, you're trying to harm the number one industry that y'all have started. Okay?
Okay.
Future generations of this country will not be. His text says the whole economy has to be reimagined. Why we don't have other banks? Why all of us have to be out of the door at some of these other banks? We could have many, many other banks, retail, wholesale, terrified of competition, fully afraid. We are young and small enough to be nimble. We need to change, says that texter. Another text here says, aragonite today selling $900 per ton. We sell it for $4. Who's making all this money? Oh, that's right. You talked about the aragonite. Here's the mistake you're making. See, this the mistake you make. Oil, let's say crude oil, from which gasoline comes, from which your other oils come. Crude oil sells, let's say now, for $10 a barrel. When that crude oil is converted into Western oil or to lubrication oil or all that kind of stuff, it now could sell for $50 a barrel. You are wrong to look at the end use price of something to suggest that that's what you should get, because you have not even considered the research and development that has gone into making the products out of the raw material, which is the primary product. You haven't considered the marketing cost of that. You haven't considered all of the investments that went into hiring staff and to do the manufacturing and the distribution of that. You haven't considered all of that. That's why the price is $900, because people have spent $700 getting it to that place, having bought it for $100. Y'all are missing it. See, let me tell you something. If you think aragonite is a business that can make us rich, why the heck ain't none of us in it? Who's stopping a Bahamian from putting the business plan together to get in the aragonite business? You know what's stopping you? Don't let anybody fool you. Do you understand the market? Where would you sell aragonite today? Don't tell me across the waters. No, to whom? Who are the major users of the aragonite? No, don't tell me this business. I'm talking about the name of the businesses. How are you going to get them aragonite? And then who do you think is going to buy the aragonite? The aragonite. The first producers are going to buy the aragonite. You think they can buy that for expensive money when they have to use and convert that into products that have to sell to other people? No. Come on, man. You want to impress me about aragonite? Don't come talking to me about how much billions of aragonite we have. That's not impressive to me. Not impressive at all. You want to impress me with aragonite? Bring me a business proposal that tells me you understand how to get aragonite to the marketplace to be sold to consumers in a manner that would yield you a return on investment that is comparable to what somebody doing that kind of business should get. Impress me with that. Don't tell me about what the government getting from it. Forget the government. That's government taxes. Why am I interested in how much taxes the government getting from it? Why you as a Bahamian are not in the business? Why are you letting foreigners and the government take up all this thing you say exists for such marvelous billions of dollars that we could all be rich? You know why you ain't doing it? For the same reason you don't even have a clothes store or a shoe store like some of these other Bahamians who have put their entrepreneurial zeal to work. Because all you're doing is talking. All you're doing is political talk. You're not doing business. You're not interested in investing.
Thousand people employed by government, and what are they doing? But because governments always look out for political repercussions, they do not dare to lay off nobody. But Sean McCreaney said 35 years ago that we needed to have 25% reduction in the civil service. That's 25 years ago. Just how many more we need to have cut off today, but nobody talking about that. Call on the line. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes.
Me again.
You say what? This who? Man, listen. That ain't Amos say. This who? Man, listen. That ain't Amos say. Amos called me on Friday. And I love your contributions. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. I'm so glad that my producer now understands the routine. We don't need to take the same thing, man. This is express yourself, right? But don't abuse it. Now, what I would like to know is what is the Prime Minister going to say when he addresses Parliament? He probably will not do it tomorrow.
If I have insurance, I pull my phone out.
The Prime Minister may speak early next week or before the end of the week, but the Prime Minister is coming something tough, man. The Bahamian people need to hear a message of hope. We need to hear something positive. Now, I would encourage you to read the Nassau Guardian this morning and the Tribune this morning and go online. There's a website for the PLP where the leader of the PLP, Honorable Philip Brave Davis, gave a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful contribution on the budget. Read it, look at it, listen to it. We need to be cognizant of what's going on in our country, and the PLP, through its leader, offered an alternative to what's going on under the FNM. Now, keep in mind that all politicians are basically the same. They say what is need to be said, and they say what needs to not be said. But I'm Ortland H. Bodie Jr., 326-0270, 326-0271. Tell us what is on your mind today. We've heard nothing so far about the criminal justice system, and keep in mind that the Attorney General is in the Senate. I wonder how come we have a Minister of Legal Affairs in the House of Assembly no more. We had Ellsworth Johnson, but he's now been appointed Minister of Financial Affairs and Immigration. So there's nobody in the House of Assembly to speak for the Attorney General's office. How come? So it means that they are getting away not with murder, but certainly call on the line. Hello.
Sir.
Yes?
I'm going to call you Friday, but I heard something
Man,
very
that's
important.
you again?
Just listen, man. I only going to be like 30 seconds, because I agree with you. No, I agree with what you're saying. Okay, so I agree with you. But
I want to beat my producer, but I can't beat him.
Man, give him a break, man. And please give me a
go
break,
ahead quickly, man. Go ahead.
All right, okay. Listen, I cannot afford to let a former cabinet minister mislead the public on another show. Okay? And what am I saying? He is saying if Aragonite, basically, if Aragonite exists in the Bahamas, those Bahamian among us who can afford to go into the business, why haven't they went into the business? And he's suggesting that they haven't gone into the business, one, because either they don't know anything about the business, or even if they have the Aragonite, they don't even have no idea where to go and sell this Aragonite. See, what I'm saying to you, big brother, that's misleading the public. First and foremost, the Bahamian public, as it relates to any natural resources that this country owns, every individual have a right to that as ownership by way of a government. Now, a good government will legislate policies, okay? All right? Article 52(1), okay? Tells us what the government can legislate and do and not legislate. And if what I'm saying, Brother Bodie, just before I leave you, is this. The Freedom of Information Act, that's what gives your people the information that they will require from time to time in their life development, in the development of this country. Okay? The Freedom of Information Act is what helps them on their journey. It's not the answer to all things, but what it does, it gives the people the personal individual freedom from the comfort of their home or in an individual way or in a grouping, okay, to articulate according to the information before them what the country has to offer, which direction they want to go in, and how they would love to spend their time on this earth along with their children and their family and hopefully the neighbors benefiting. That's in my, and I'm saying it from a layman perspective. We have Rhodes Scholars in this country, and if we had courage, the Rhodes Scholars had the real freedom, to speak. And I'm talking for those who are doing well in this country. If they had the real freedom to speak, okay? And what I want them to say. Tell this former cabinet minister, the natural resources of this country was this country owned before we became an independent country, and from 73 go back to 1492. Whoever lived in this country... How much
you did say you'll be...
I did say that. Okay, all right. I thank you then.
You playing time on Friday.
But did you get the idea what I'm saying?
I get it, Riff.
It's misleading to suggest people isn't going into certain industries because they either stupid or they're fool. No, the truth of the matter is, if whatever industry you go in, if you're starting from scratch and you have a light bill to pay, and now you have 12% on top of the 7.5% VAT, it's very difficult coming out of this colonial corrupt practice of policies over the years. It's difficult for little businesses. And so the only thing that will make me happy for the rest of the week is this, Brother Bodie. The Minister of Finance, and like you say, the Prime Minister would even be better for him. Because as far as I'm concerned, the Minister of Finance did enough.
I really love you, but...
I know, and I get on your nerves. But I really want the Prime... I want to hear something from the Prime Minister for the small businesses.
I will give you 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right, listen. The people really appreciate you, Brother Bodie. You know we appreciate you. And we appreciate this real talk,
Yes.
All right, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amos is my boy, but listen, man, we all want to have a dialogue with everybody. Call on the line real quickly. Good afternoon.
Hustling, Bodie.
That's you?
Yeah, what's going on, man? I'll let you 1,000 for 1,500. What you think?
Where have you been?
Well, I talked to you last week sometime. This bamboo down, around by your mother-in-law. My fool. I'll let you 1,000 for 1,500.
Law or by my sweetheart?
No, I tell you not Plumie. I ain't know where Plumie mother live. I don't know where Plumie.
You live in Bamboo Town too?
Yeah. Well, I know that.
Would you say?
I know Johnson in Bamboo Town. I don't know about no Plumie.
Yeah. Would you then?
I'll let you 1,000 for 1,500.
A what?
For 1,500. Well, anyway, buddy, you right, babe. I hit you 100%, babe. He's a old fake, babe. Dr. James Sands is old fake. But let me ask you a question. You think he getting any nomination in 2022?
James Sands?
Yeah.
Not for the F&M.
Not from the F&M, I agree, too. So he can afford it pretty. I hear him on all them talk shows yesterday, but he's still 100% F&M and this and that.
Rand Sands will never get an F&M nomination.
No, you ain't get no nomination.
And the F&M ain't going to win the election next time.
Well, you're a smart man. You right on this time, buddy.
But
except like the last, like 2017.
You know your document is going on.
Never. I'm Brown boy. Brown McCarthy, but now he's Kamalafi boy. And never will go up with him and I will too bad. And I never work with him and he'll never be saying that. And in the country would say, I hope you see this 2 election on the road. I say, I told you so. And that's good for you.
Come with Brave.
Never. Brave for the Brave government. Brave has never been. Never. Brave is right up there underneath Christie. All that foolishness. They win 4 seats.
Brave don't have what it takes.
Orleana is the boy. Orleana, he's giving.
Orleana still around?
He never get that big contract with no insurance. And that's the boy. That's a script.
And you got a subcontract on the right?
Yeah, that's a so council and the CLP.
You got some money too, right?
Never. He's an independent, man. My money's come from the Bahamian people.
Oh.
Yeah, man. So he ain't nothing happening, man. But you right on. You got it right this time. That foolishness you was talking last time, but Christie will win. Yeah.
I never said Christie will win.
Yeah, you said the PLP, you all, and you with the PLP, and the PLP don't go in and all that before
I never said that.
You want me Google more FM shows and
what they call Battle say they would do when they come to power?
Man, Carl Battle is the dumbest attorney general the country has ever seen. Me and Rondo and Fred Smith is mashing up like a piece of foil.
So
yeah, you said that.
You say you use the PLP, then you won't have Wayne Monroe being
never,
the PLP?
Never. Mr. Bodie, stop insulting me, man. Don't call me no PLP and F&M, man. That's an insult.
Oh.
As an independent, I vote independent, I vote in DNA. I go into the beach. If only F&M and PLP on the ticket, I can't on like Rodney Monk, I get on the beach. All right?
Rodney is your cousin.
Now, you're right about that. Yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah, he's a Monka. My granddad used to come as a Monka.
What does your cousin do?
Who?
Son-in-law Cartwright.
Never. I don't know him. The first time I ever see that man is when he went in St. Barnabas the other day.
All right.
Never. But Mr. Bodie, hey. I agree with you 100%. Right. Like in 2016, 2017, then up to the general election, at least Carl Battle wasn't around anyhow. The idea swing us and everything talking, but if you vote for the PLP, so, you're voting for Brown.
Well, tell me
he said if you vote for the PLP, you're voting for Brown, right? Brown and McCartney. So you'll wake up, you'll go sleep with Christie and wake up with Brown, right? But then we go on sleep with minutes and things that we wake up with Carl Battle, Tommy Tanquest, the Yawn folks. None of these fellas was running on the ticket. Now let me tell you this. You're right. Just before the general election, Carl Battle would never say, with the Freedom of Information Act, if you enforce it,
right.
A lot of things the government can't tell you any because the things cabinet secretive and this and that and confidential and you can't talk anyhow. They'll never say that. Now they sweet up the people, swing the people. Yeah, we'll implement it when we win. We'll implement it now when they win. No, you still can't know everything. Hey, I agree with you, man.
Well, what you want to know?
We pay them. Huh?
What you want to know?
I don't know everything. I don't know, like, Amos are right on today. I don't know, but the regular night. The government they say the government only getting $2 a tonnage, and then Myers, Tony Myers could come on and tell me the government getting $20.
What does it say?
20 Myers.
Yeah, they selling this thing for what, $500 a ton, and you're only getting $2 a ton.
No, sir, Mr. Bodie, boy, the fella gets called out of talk show and say, Google it. I can Google it when I come up the phone for you. $900 and some, boy.
Yeah, how much?
$900 and some a metric ton, boy.
You joking?
Yes, sir, the fella gets Google it. I can Google it when you come off the phone and see how much the Ragonite selling for.
My WhatsApp number is 423 0418.
I have that, Bodie. I have that from FM, man. I have that. That's still on my phone, man.
Send me something. I can Google that tonight.
Yeah, I can send you. But let me just say this. Let me say this, Mr. Bodie, before I go. Let me just say this before I go.
What?
The thing about it, Tony Myers run the company, and then the company was buying them with the Ragonite. He owned that company too. His son them owned that company, so he refining the Ragonite, selling it to his son them company, then selling it to the international market.
Who is this?
Tony Myers.
Tony Myers, I know.
From the former hot mix planting, Brent similar partner them and things like that, the Myers groups. Yeah, they own the Ragonite.
I thought Lynn Hall of West could have owned that.
They have all of them shares in that, man. All of them. All of them.
Brent similar too?
All of it, Jimmy. In the own hot mix. And Tony Myers would own hot mix back in the day. Fat hot mix but they don't have shares in it too. But Brent Similar is the leading controlling shareholder.
Shoot me stuff on my email tonight.
Yeah, just send me this. I can Google it right now and find out. People stop getting swing, man. Stop just before the election. The PLP never tell you a bunch of foolishness.
So how you see elections coming up?
Boy, if the people them smart, go anything except the PLP. Look at this, Mr. Bodie. The PLP 2000.
You'll vote after them again?
Yeah, but Mr. Bodie, the PLP 2002 say fresh breeze blowing.
Right.
Yeah, when Sydney subs them in the Korean boat and all that foolishness and Shane Gibson and Anna Nicole, they run them. They go on Ingram, swing Tommy Tanquest and Dion folks and come back, take the leadership back. He come in there, he do a bunch of foolishness. They run him in 2012.
What would you recommend?
I recommend to everybody, try Kamalafi. She's a very independent financial woman, godly woman. Let's just try. Give it a try. And if they don't wait,
no woman, man. Men they are a macho society.
Mr. Bodie, if you want a job done, you get a man. If you want a job done right, you get a woman. Trust me.
You sound like something wrong with you.
All right, then. Stay there, then. Who running the households and the house now? I mean, who's pay bills? Who's keep on the car and on and everything and house and everything? Who's keep everything going? Leave it up to the man. See if everything will get taken off in the house. Huh? see if everything would run down now with me.
My wife run my house.
Exactly. That's what I trying to tell you.
But she don't run me.
No, she should have run me too, but she run out. They good on that. Keeping everything going, all the bills, all the school fee, the children feed, the children home, they're going to school and everything. Then they get on the one and they say that. Check Margaret Thatcher. Huh? Margaret Thatcher and them other rest of the female prime minister.
You support brown tail around here.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, you see, on the last 50 years, we had Pants Tail, Pants Lake, and the country fix.
And Pants Tail weekend.
We had Pants Lake then until the last 40 years, then from independence, 46, 47 years. Well, the country slipping backwards.
The man say, I go until tomorrow.
Yeah, all right, then. We can link up, man. I can WhatsApp you some stuff.
Be good now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you do, Bodie, man. You boy, we can link. I can see you on the road.
All right, organize Bodie Jones, express yourself. We're going to be back tomorrow, if God's will life, another exciting segment for tomorrow. For Global Radio 99.5, we thank God for the opportunity to talk to you. Ilan, my producer, my management team. We will see you all tomorrow, God's will life, 2 o'clock sharp.
Leslie Miller, you got a chance to talk now.
Good afternoon,
First, give me your little points on right there. That
I have listened to the conversation with regard to the gentleman expressing his views, but the leader of the DNA. I will only say that, in our country, we are all equal, and she's a very educated lady, same as Glennis Anna Martin, who is as tenacious and rough as any man in the House of Parliament, and
that's my girl.
Better than most of them, I should say.
Don't let a speaker see
So
the speaker side.
he'll probably go nuts, So we got some tough ones there. If those two get together, it'll be hell in the Pacific,
Oh, man.
So she has every right to aspire. I just hope that the brother don't come back and undermine and take his party back, because he ain't got much to do these days. But of course, he on a different shift now. Yeah, trying to do their own thing with his old partner. Who put him in the Senate and things, so maybe they come with a new name now, but hopefully they may just go and rejoin and take it back. So I don't know, be careful what you ask for. I can speak now, right?
Yeah, man.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. Good afternoon, colleagues. This show today on the subject matter is so pivotal. It reminds me of a conversation I had on Saturday with one of their constituents, an old lady, who called me, who was in dire need. And when I got there, she said, Leslie, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I said, what you mean, babe? She said, I want you to understand me. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. She said, I'm sick to begin with, and I'm tired of life. And when you think about the moment that we're in now in our country, how many people feel the same way? Mm-hmm. I'm sick of what goes around me every day. I'm tired of being locked down for the last almost 3 months of my life. My 2 daughters have lost their jobs. My grandson just got laid off from Bahama, and they say he can't go back until October. What am I to do? We bought in the government, and I always ask people when I go door to door, which I do every week, except a bit of COVID. I say, why did you vote for this new government? Say, Mr. Miller. I thought it was going to be like Mr. Ingram. They F&M. Mr. Ingram was hard, but he was fair, and he had a heart in his body.
Very true, very true.
Okay?
Very true.
Tough as hell, and you could take his word, and he meant well for the Bahamian people. Mm-hmm. A lot of things happened during the election, For example, the biggest question was, where did the what money go? Such a simple, basic, idiotic question if you think about it. Mm-hmm. Every penny that the government generates and goes to the public treasury. That's all the money goes. But yet they turn it around as if the PLP had stolen the what money. And you ask the person, what you think about that? Well, that's what they say. I say, but a month later, the Minister of Finance said, we found the money. Where the hell the money was all the time? But you bought into it. You bought into it. It took me back to Art of the Onana. That when some of these unscrupulous investors come here, they sell you their dream, but leave you their nightmare. The people were sold a dream by the dream team out Lightfoot Key and Old Fort Bay and the rest of them through the auspices of the F&M. Mm-hmm. Now they're facing the nightmare. Those who bought it on still out life at key, enjoying the good life. On old Fort Bay, and the fellas who are at the top of the echelon still enjoying their life. But who's suffering? The masses. The masses are always ones who are being taken advantage of. It is not fair what is going on in this country today. There's a lot of dissension within the party. But I want to say something that I believe with all my heart. There's no leader in this country that has more heart for the Bahamian people than Philip Brave Davis. In the PLP, I give him the nickname, the go-to man. When any Bahamian have a problem, they go to Brave Davis. He tries to help them as best he can. I've been to his office sometime at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I see known F&Ms as well as PLPs line up. And I've seen them come to me after and say, Mr. Miller, so this man just gave me one job, he gave me a road or something to do, and he did it all his life. So, to try to disparage him, to say that they don't want him or he's lacking something. The only thing he may lack is too much love for people on a daily basis.
Hi, Steve.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Not bad. Fane Thompson here.
What is Fane?
Hey, Fane, how are you?
In fact, greetings to everyone in the studio. I called tonight, and I said it was only as an exception. Gentlemen, when we hear comments which seek to minimize the value of a person based upon their gender, that always concerns me. And Steve is very, very good at trying to correct that, as ever, another talk show host. But when we hear it, gentlemen, we must find a way to cut it down. Olympia Komalafe is a Bahamian citizen. Her gender has absolutely nothing to do with the conversation as to whether or not she'll make a good leader.
Very, very true.
Qualities. And it really concerns me when I hear that. So today, I just took a few minutes to commend those of you who made the point, but also to actively discourage that mentality in this country which is to discriminate against people on the basis of their gender without more. I'm not commenting about Mrs. Komalafe, but that earlier caller, I was really concerned about it, so I called him. I figured I should call and just share those few words.
I appreciate that very kindly. We shall see you tomorrow on the show.
Thank you, my brother Fane.
Fane, we should see you tomorrow on the show.
And make sure I come with all your guns blazing, eh?
You and Paul Moss.
I hear you. You have to do more than Steve.
Okay, we'll talk. Okay, wonderful. So there are people who would have taken exception to some things that my good friend Ali was talking about, but Glenn said that you don't think that he meant anything by that.
I mean, you have to respect the fact that as an analysis, as somebody who analyzed, I hear what Fane's saying, but I don't think Fane equally meant to say that the Bahamian people are not going to take that into consideration. Anyone who gets into that arena think that some people are not going to vote based on their belief whether a woman should or not. I think any one of us reaching that conclusion is misguided. I do think that's not what Ms. Komalafe wants a conversation about. And that's where Fane is right. She wants a conversation about competency. She wants it's about idea. That is her strength. That is our field, and that is where she should engage the conversation at every level. So I mean, to the caller's point, that do, however, translate into certain things.
But each of us have our own views as to whether or not at this time the Bahamian people are ready for a woman to lead this country as prime minister. And, many, especially men, and more so women than men too, have this view in their head. If you'll find that a woman on a man on the ticket, they vote for the man over the woman. Women. And I said, why you did that? I want a woman to tell me what to do. Be serious in that.
A funny lot.
That's just how Bahamians feel. The average one are not the muckamucks and the educated ones.
We got two last calls.
But the potcakes.
I think Fane is right.
Hard copy, how are you?
That shouldn't even be a part of
Are you there, hard copy? Okay. Hard copy, how are you?
Hey, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is what I called to say.
Oh, yeah.
As relates to the First Lady of the DNA. Hey, Brother Delavo, how are you, sir?
Listen, man. Get to your point. We got to go, 7:06. Let's go. Come on, Amos. You like to try to call every evening at the end of the show to hold me up. Let's go, man.
Over 30 minutes.
Okay, let's go now. I listen to you.
The great
gift in favor of the DNA leader. The greatest gift ever given to humanity came by way of a woman. We asking for a natural resources, eternal gift. You might believe or you might not believe. The PLP and the FNM as good, you can pick and choose and refuse among them. Who can do good for those in their constituency, because most of them who are picked, hand-picked, are rich anyway. So that should not be a criteria why you should be elected in this government. I like to say the first government. This is going to be the real first one. You see, the truth of the matter is, people are afraid of salvation because of the PLP and the FNM. And the FNM need to hear what I have to say right now. Any mess you find yourself in, Bahamas, and FNM cabinet, the PLP was the government what left you all and us in the mess. So talk to the PLP as much as you want.
That's not true.
Silent as much as they want.
What he said? I'm talking foolishness, man.
Sorry, at the end of the day, I can't hear what you're saying. I'm trying to rush along and be quick.
Yeah, do that.
All I know, Steve, the king that faithfully judges the poor, his throne shall be established forever. Yahweh say that.
Yahweh. Who's Yahweh?
The Elohim. So listen, Steve, and I go on this point.
Good.
I go in on this point, Steve. The last point is this. The king, that one was for Brother Roll.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the last point for Brother Roll, I gotta make two because it's a double blessing. See, the Prime Minister already gave a blessing to the unemployed persons in the tourism business. It's one more blessing, Mr. Prime Minister, to go to make it double for our trouble. Okay? The last thing comes this way. The king, the king by judgment, Steve, and Brother Roll, and Brother Delaveau, and people of this country, the king by judgment, not justice, by judgment, established the land. But the king, or he who's in authority that receives a gift, will overthrow that country.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, good. Now, let me make one thing clear. You know, when he made the statement that the PLP left this country in a mess, nothing could be further from the truth, you know. First they said, where the what money gone? Then they found the what money, right in the Treasury. The PLP borrowed less than $3 billion over 5 years of governance and left this country in a good financial position for all to benefit. The FNM has already borrowed $3 billion, and you can't point to one single thing. Show me one single thing that benefited the masses in this country under the administration borrowing over $3 billion in 3 years. Show me one thing. This guy living in a dream world, man. Be fair.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you all for coming today.
Thank you, Steve.
And it's been a kind of exhaustive, but nonetheless, we know exactly what we want to see happen in our country today. We see the government is not up to the level of the people of this country. We've got many, many problems that we've got to deal with. Many problems. Problems that we can't even start to really look at. Many problems, man. For me, I know what I'm talking about, and I sometimes don't want to really say, but we've got many problems. Y'all got to pray some more. You've been praying a whole lot. You got to pray some more, because
the grave got to pray for us.
The Prime Minister and them, they've got to get it together, man. They really have got to get it together.
No time left for that.
Maybe we could just forget about this particular crew and try to ease on down the road and make things happen for ourselves. But we need to have somebody to make some things happen, like the Aragonite and everything else like that. These are things that you need to be key on. Put pressure on them. Just like how we talked earlier this week about putting pressure on Denisio Diagra and them to make sure that they don't run this country into ruin by bringing people here without doing COVID testing and the rest of it.
The man was when he telling you white life matters.
See, but you didn't respond last week. But now, today, Denisio's responded because he knows that's the right thing to do. So what are you afraid of? You've got to say. You've got to say what it is that's on your mind. And if we do that, we may be better off. I'm going to keep my comments short today. 12 minutes behind the hour of 7 o'clock. That's our show for today. We want to thank Mark and Leslie and, of course, good friend Jeffrey and Glenn, we thank you so much. We'll see you all next week when we come back. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to have Paul Moss and, of course, Fane Thompson. They're going to come and talk about a number of things here that deal with the finances of the country. We've got to have that kind of show for you tomorrow and make sure that you get a better, broader understanding about what we are talking about as far as Dwayne Sands and Marvin Dames and all those people are concerned, because these are things that got to be settled. We've got to move to the next lot. We've got to settle these things, and there's just too much trouble in the camp right now. We appreciate your being with us today, and we thank you so much. Stevie, let's go home. It's been brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, Alive, BAMZ, Sunburst Paints, Average Advantage Insurance and Brokers, Super Value, Rocky Fowles Nursery, and the McKinney Media Group, Cool Tech, and of course Super Wash and Executive Printers out there on Jerome Avenue. We'll see you first thing tomorrow, 5 o'clock. That's what I call first thing tomorrow morning, 5. First thing tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We'll see you first thing.
Hi, Steve.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Not bad, not bad. Fane Thompson here.
Notice Fane.
Hey, Fane, how are you?
In fact, greetings to everyone in the studio. I called tonight, and I said it was only as an exception. You know, gentlemen, when we hear comments which seek to minimize the value of a person based upon their